back to my channel. Thought I would just turn the camera on and share with you what I am working on. Some of you may find this super helpful. Some of you, it really doesn't apply to you. But a lot of us have get-togethers between now and Christmas, and I just so happen to have 3 events in the next couple weeks. Tomorrow night I have my Bunko Friendsgiving. The weekend after that I have my Christmas craft night, and then in a couple weeks it is Thanksgiving for my husband's family. Anytime we get together, food is usually involved, or tables for sure, and I always want my tables to have a seasonal decoration on it. I know some of us are more resourceful than others, just like some people say they're more craftier than others, but I really believe that the more you do it, the more you get out of your comfort zone, the better you get. I just thought today that I would share with you some of my tips and some of my hacks that I do to create a simple centerpiece for my get-togethers. Now, it does not have to be anything super expensive or elaborate. It just has to look kind of intentional. You know, I could go to Hobby Lobby and buy all the things and create these beautiful things, but that's not really what it's about. It's just to give a little touch of seasonal decor to whatever time of year it is. And I never spend over, you know, probably $5 to do 3 tables, because I have kind of a stash of basic things that I mix and match, add to, change out. I create some really cute little touches for the table. So I really kind of have it broken up into 3 categories. I kind of have a base that I think about what I want to use for my base. I have some kind of container that I use, and then some kind of filler. Now the filler is what may cost you a little bit. It just depending on the season. If it's fall time, you're going to do pumpkins, acorns, leaves. Easter time, you might do eggs and moss and stuff like that. The fillers is really what you, and then once you get that stuff bought and collected, then you have it forever. So I wanted to just share with you some of the generic things that I keep in kind of my centerpiece stash that I use in just about any season. We'll start with what I call the base. You know, whenever you have a tablecloth or a table, I want to put something down in the center. And you can use a pillowcase, that costs you $0. Something that I collect up is cloth napkins. You know, sometimes you go to a thrift store and you might find 2 or 3 cloth napkins for 59 cents. Good thing about cloth napkins is all 4 sides are already finished. It's just not raw material. Like for example, I would pick this up because this is just red checked. I could use this for Valentine's. I could use this for patriotic. I could use this for Christmas. It has multi-purposes that I could use this type of fabric. And every once in a while, I'll look up and find some vintage seasonal fabric like this with the rabbits on it. This will be so cute this spring. And then I have a multitude of just solid color cloth napkins. These are great to have as your base of your centerpiece. Now, another inexpensive base you can use for your centerpiece are disposable napkins. Like here is one for the fall. I just open it up and you can iron paper if you did not know that. It gives me a nice square of seasonal paper. Here's one that's just got leaves on it that you can iron. Now here's the kind of cloth napkin you wouldn't want to use that is just printed on the outside. This would not be one you could use as your base. Now here's one I picked up not too long ago, a pack of these. These were Hearth and Hand from Target. The red stripe, just like the red check. Valentine's, 4th of July, and Christmas. I could do, you know, add some blue something to this, and there you go, patriotic. And then they always have, these are good to have. I have a few of these in the seasonal colors. Dollar Tree has these round woven placemats, and these are great. I have several colors of these, and I'm just showing you that red would be the same 3 holidays I mentioned earlier. So that's kind of the kind of choices I use for my base. Now, as far as containers, these are some things that you keep in your arsenal. Wide mouth mason jars. I use wide mouth just because it makes a better vase. You can pick these up for nearly nothing at the thrift stores. I usually keep 4 or 5 of these mason jars because you can just do so much with them. And especially with the farmhouse being so trendy, it kind of is the perfect time to use these. Another thing I have a collection of are these terracotta pots. I have a variety of sizes. I have, you know, just sizes that you would put on a, you know, not too big, not the full size planting pots, but just these little miniature. I've picked up many of these little pots. These are great for springtime centerpieces, or the color lends itself to fall time. Another good generic thing to have is just some tea light holders. They're super inexpensive. It's always good to have 2 or 3 of these for each table that you're decorating. Also, shop your house. You know, look through your cabinets and things and see what you have that you could use. This is a stemless wine glass. There's lots of things I could do with this. A good thing to have is just some simple candlesticks. You could buy some of that sticky tack that you can get at the office supply, and it changes the whole look of that stemless glass. Another thing that's great to have is a collection of neutral colored candles. You know, here's one that's got some little gold dots on it, but it's neutral enough where it could mix and match. These are just some I've never lit. And a lot of get-togethers will only last 2 or 3 hours, and so big candles like this will last many, many times. Now, as far as like jarred candles, something you could do is just wrap seasonal paper around it or some wide ribbon, something to disguise the outside. If you've got 3 or 4 Christmas scented candles, you could use those. You know, if it's pine and peppermint, and you could light all those at the same time and they wouldn't contradict each other. Another thing I use is soup cans. Same here. I can wrap it in fabric, I can decorate it paper, gift wrap. Here's one, just a sneak peek of my Christmas craft night. These are just some large coffee cans that I collect up. I've used these large coffee cans so many times in Centerpieces, and I just took some plaid gift wrap and wrapped it up. I'm not finished with it yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do else. I might put a strip of burlap or tie some jute twine around it. Love the look of that plaid can. Another free resource you have is your yard. And I'm going to take you to my counter here and show you some do's and don'ts of finding things in your yard. Okay, we're here at my counter. Let me just tell you that a great thing to create height for a centerpiece is sticks out of your yard. You can spray paint sticks. You can hot glue leaves on there. Here's another. I just am lucky enough to have a magnolia tree in my neighbor's yard. And it's so huge that they would never miss me snipping a few leaves of this. The thing about magnolia branches is it will last 2 or 3 weeks and they will continue to look like this. You can use this greenery on a mantle, on a table, wherever you would find a use for some greenery. Another one that keeps its color and everything is pine leaves. That's why they're called evergreens. Now here's some do's and don'ts about picking some tree branches with leaves. This is one that I picked yesterday afternoon. This is a Japanese maple. The leaves are really thin, very vibrant, gorgeous, but in a matter of about 12 hours, they're dried and shriveled up and just would not look good on a centerpiece. However, if you pick them an hour or 2 before your party gets there, then they would be fine, but they just won't last over 12 hours. But if you pick a leaf like this pin oak that's already got the little acorns that's still attached to the leaves, this was picked yesterday at the same time, and this still looks really good. These little thin maple leaves would only last a few hours versus a couple days. So those are just some do's and don'ts of things that, and you might get play around, pick some things out of your yard and test them and see how long they'll last before your get together. I'm going to put together about 3 different super inexpensive centerpieces for little of no cost, and it's all going to be fall related. All right, the first one, I used my pillowcase. I just opened it up like you're putting a t-shirt on and just flattened it out and kind of bunched up the sides to create a basket. And under the pillowcase, I put a box of brown sugar. No one would ever know the wiser. And what that does is that creates a little elevation for this top wine glass. It creates some visual interest. It's not just the wine glasses laying flat in the middle of the fabric. Couple leaves. I tied some jute twine around the glass. Here's one with and one without. You could do it either way or both. Little miniature pine cones, and how cute is that? You know, the tea lights are in a metal container, so after they burn out, they won't ruin the glass at all. And just love the look of that for nearly nothing. All right, the second one is the one I created for my Friendsgiving tomorrow night. It is a paper napkin. I happen to have the little clay pots and the pumpkins that just fit in there perfect. My tea lights are sitting on top of the little clay saucers. I could put them inside, but I kind of like the look of them being elevated on top. The raffia just kind of fills in some of the blank space, and a couple pine cones. And how cute is this for nearly nothing? And the third one I want to share with you is made with the black cloth napkin. I took the size bigger of this Rubbermaid plastic bowl, flipped it over, and just draped the black napkin over the top, pulled some of the pine needles off. This is a little 97-cent bag of Walmart pumpkin filler, and then filled my mason jar full of sticks and magnolia stems. Like I said before, it's a good idea to look in your yard and test out some of the greenery in your yard and see what lasts and what doesn't. You know, anytime you're working with live greenery, it's always better to put it out as late as possible. But I know that magnolias last for a few weeks, so I'm pretty safe if I did it a day early. Just play around and see what you have. So this was so fun. I hope this give you some ideas, and it just goes to show you that you can be a lot more resourceful, save money, and make a big impact at your next get-together. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.